The Tech Disruptors podcast is brought to you by the Average Dad Tech Store. Get all of your latest and greatest tech at averagedadofficial.com.
My left video just went viral.
I'ma strike back and take your whole empire. Spontaneous combustion. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. We are back for another week with my lovely co-host.
This is Jason.
And our semi-regular co-host, this guy here.
Hey everyone, I'm Devin.
Now, this week's been an interesting week in tech because it's one of these very rare weeks. We've had actually two back-to-back, which is a bit rare in the tech disruptor world, where it's been a bit of a slow week.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been a lot going on. It's been a little bit hush-hush, a little bit quiet. So today we're going to branch out and look at a couple of other stories that we kind of like put to the wayside over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to bring them back and have a look at those. But in case you're wondering who we are and what we do, we're the Tech Disruptors. We talk tech, weekly tech stories, news, reviews, you name it. Sometimes even some crazy chat about movies and food and AI and everything else in between. But what's been happening in your world, Devin? I'll start with you. What's been happening this week, buddy? Anything new?
I think the biggest thing, not necessarily specifically for me, but just the biggest thing that everybody on my timelines was talking about was the Switch 2.
Yes, which we will absolutely talk about. Yes, 100%.
Lots of interesting thoughts both ways for the Switch 2. So,
did you pre-order it? I was going to ask.
I would if I could, but
you can't right now. Of course,
they're not. I don't know if you've heard, but there's this thing. What's it?
Tariff? Tariff.
Yeah, something like that. That apparently they're.
We're going to talk all about the tariffs.
I thought that was a joke when I heard that. Like they're delaying because of tariffs, but I guess
I don't know why they announced it.
Yeah.
Like they announced it and they're like, okay, we're going to do pre-orders on this day.
April 9th is they're supposed to do, right?
And then like a day later, they're just kidding. Tariffs. So we're pushing it out.
I'm kind of upset. April 9th is my birthday. And I was like, I wasn't a big fan of the Switch 2. Like, but I'm like, hey, it's my birthday. I'll treat myself and we'll pre-order it. And then I'm like, oh, well.
So here's the thing. We're going to talk all about the tariffs, but I'm when I saw that article come out that they were delaying it, I kind of went, this is not going to be good for tech.
Well, I think they're setting a precedence. I think, it will be interesting to see, like, I don't want to get too far into what we're going to talk about, but, you're hearing results of like the iPhone's going to jump up $2,000 or what, which is a joke. But I mean, it will increase. Prices will change, I'm sure. And is it going to put pressure on these companies to move to the United States? I don't know, because paying a U.S. worker to make a phone as opposed to someone in China is going to make things a lot more expensive anyways.
So I had a moment yesterday where I was like, oh, fucking tariffs. It's all their fucking tariffs fight. And I'm not even joking. This has nothing to do with tariffs. But
I will tell you, Darren, Canadian maple syrup is way too expensive now. I can't buy it anymore.
Of course. Well, okay, so that just gets to my point. So I was screaming a certain person's name in a not a very nice way yesterday. And this has probably got nothing to do with tariffs, but in my mind, I was like, fucking tariffs. So I went to buy mouthwash at Walmart yesterday.
Oh my God.
So I'm walking down, the toothpaste aisle, mouthwash aisle, whatever. And I'm looking at all these, I haven't bought mouthwash in fucking 3 years. It's usually my wife who buys it, but I had to go pick some up on her behalf. So I went anyways. So I'm walking down the aisle, I'm looking at all these mouthwashes on display. And I'm like, $16?
Wait,
$16? What? Yeah. So for the biggest jug, 2 liters, whatever the fuck, the biggest one they had. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Anyway, it was $16. And I went, fucking tariffs. So even mouthwash got expensive. Then I realized.
Have you seen $16 mouthwash?
Probably Canadian, right?
Well, no. Mouthwash is all, a lot of that kind of stuff is usually the same price as it is in the States. But I think this was because it was like a XL version of like a mouthwash. But in my mind, because I hadn't seen that and I had no idea how much mouthwash cost, I was like, fucking tariffs, even mouthwash had gone up. I came home and told my wife, and she's like, "Are you sure you were looking at the right thing?" And I was like, "Of course I was. Of course I was."
That
But anyway.
wine, champagne.
So I just went home and took some vodka and put in some like Mentos into it and just shook it up. And now I got
Hey.
mouthwash. So
That's a really good idea.
problem solved. Jason, what about you? What's been going on? What caught your attention this week? Or what's been going on in your life?
Well, I think for me, I have the Pixel. Jesus, the Nothing 3A Pro, and I have one huge gripe with this phone.
Oh,
I got the black
God.
version. So on this side, you see 2 buttons, right?
Yep,
That's your volume up and down.
got it.
On this side, you see 2 buttons. And this power button, this huge button right here, and this is their AI shelf. Every time
Yes.
it takes a screenshot. I swear to God, when I'm using my phone, I always reach for the small button because a lot of phones, the small button is the power button.
Yes.
Grip
Yeah.
it. I swear, my shelf is full of all kinds of stuff that I didn't want to save. That's my biggest gripe. I need to have you reassign that button because that AI shelf button is a pain in my ass.
It's, I know, you know what? I completely get it. Like, I understand. Like, knowing, having a extra button there is cool. But I think Nothing didn't learn. I'm going to blame Nothing and also not fault Nothing for this. But Nothing probably put that button there because Apple decided to put a new button on their phone.
Yeah, but they could have put it someplace else, so it
Yes.
wasn't easily hit. I guess
Yeah.
by putting it there, they're making you use it because you're doing it accidentally. But I'm not really
Yeah.
getting the full like. I clicked on it, and every time you do it, like I'll show you. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but like when you click it, it does that, and it says, "Do you want to leave hold it to record a message?" And I'm like, "God damn!" So I'm like,
Yeah.
I back and I'm like, my shelf had like 550 things saved, and I'm like, what in the world?
How many messages are you saving?
Yeah, they must think I really need help. Well, I do, but
Does it organize those messages? Is that like
It
a
does,
voice
and
recording
then-
function?
what it's kind of cool because like I purchased something from somebody through X or Twitter, and
Yes.
I must have hit the button at some point, and it hit me a message saying, "Hey, did you want to follow up, make sure he got your payment?" Like it was kind of cool. Like so, I
Yeah.
went back to X and said, "Hey, did you get my payment?" And he said, "Yeah, I got it. Thanks." So
What'd you-
it is. What did I buy?
What did you buy? That's what
Oh, I can't. It's a maple or mouthwash from Canada.
mouthwash.
It was
Right.
$16.
$16 mouthwash.
He sold it for me for 15, so I made I made out.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. I've heard a lot of people talking about the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, and generally speaking, it's been pretty positive. But I have seen a lot of tweets about the button.
I haven't, but I'm just talking
okay.
experience. And the cameras are good, but there's a huge delay, and it's gotten better with some updates. But I don't know, and you can tell it's got like when the first one came out, it was a mid-range device, and it felt like OnePlus, like it was really super optimized, which it is. But there's a few times when like I'll open an app and I'll sit there for like, which I know it's first world problems, but a couple extra seconds, I'm like, what the hell's taking so long? So I mean, but it's a budget. I mean, for what you pay for it, I'd almost say it's better value than the 9A, but I think the 9A will have better cameras.
Yeah, better processing, maybe camera. I mean, I think
It'd be
camera
close on
hardware wise, it'd be pretty close. But yeah. Now, guys, we had a pretty big event just this past week, April Fool's Day. You know that old crazy 1st of April? I know. Now, I don't know if I always pay close attention on April Fool's Day because I like to see what brands try to do to get your attention.
I gotta say one thing though. I opened up on April Fool's Day. I opened up, the Google. You swipe to the left and you go to the whatever, and it said Warren or whoever purchased a Tesla for $1 trillion. And at first I'm like, really? So I click on it, and it was a Yahoo link, and it said the article has been removed. And I'm like, okay, it must be April Fool's joke.
Yeah,
and it was. And I'm thinking, I don't think this guy even has $1 trillion. How the hell is he going to buy it?
Well,
that was my biggest goof. I'm like, holy crap, Tesla was really suffering, and they sold out.
Yeah. Now, I sent this to you, Jason. The IKEA one, which I thought was very, very funny. So IKEA, let me just pull up the ad here, if I can find it. Oh, no. Hang on. Sorry.
There was a bunch of cool products. Well, potential products, I guess.
So this was, I'm going to pull up a bunch of them, but this was IKEA's one this year. So the taste of meatballs now in your pocket. It was a meatball flavored lip balm. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw this, I went, that sounds like a fucking amazing idea.
Have you ever had
Who
those
came
Swedish
up with
meatballs?
this?
They're
They're
really good.
amazing. Yeah. So I saw this. It took me a hot second before I ran up to tell my wife we've got to go to IKEA. When I came back down, I realized that it was a April Fool's joke there. But yeah, meatball lip balm for £1 or $18 Canadian. Pretty good. Devin, would you buy it?
Worth every penny.
I would. I mean, for $1 for a pound, like I would. That sounds like I would give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason's used to having the taste of balls on his lips, so
I was waiting.
there's that.
for it.
But
I was gonna say something
sorry,
really
Jason, that was too
I
easy.
decided to hold off.
Anyway, so that was IKEA, but I want to show you the one that actually made me laugh out loud.
Oh, I saw this one.
So Royal Albert Hall, which is a venue for orchestral playing of music, came out and said that they're hosting an orchestral performance of the Nokia 3310 ringtones and alarms.
Again, one of those things that I'm like, I never would have asked for this, but
It's amazing.
Go to this.
Yes, right? They were saying here an 80-piece orchestra. It's like a full orchestra playing
But my question
classic ringtone.
Are they going to have Snake on the screen?
So that's what they were saying here, is that they were going to have that playing on a screen in the background
Somebody's
while
playing
they
it.
were playing. Yeah. This one made me laugh out loud, and it's so incredible that I almost want it to be true.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be such an amazing thing to see for something crazy like that. But it kind of got better and worse at the same time. So I'm going to pull up another one here. This was one that had a video. And this was actually a brand that Jason just talked about just a second ago. Nothing.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So Nothing advertised. Oh,
That's not bad.
hang on. What just happened there? Oh, Nothing advertised that they were releasing a headphone jack with a 50-meter cable, and they actually had a little.
There was some backlash with this.
So this is their little ad that you're seeing playing right now, and it's just an epic sprawling
You like
cable
it
of
beautifully
50 meters.
inconvenient.
Yeah, beautifully inconvenient.
I got
Now-
3 of them.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like this. I had a little giggle at this one. I thought that was really funny, and also kind of sad that we don't really use earphones anymore at the same time.
And that's what the backlash was. People were like, "Hey, most of your phones don't have it." Like,
Yes.
ha ha ha. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we get it.
So is that, let me ask you this, is that in poor taste by Nothing, or is that them just going, a throwback to the good old days when we had phones and headphone jacks?
That's good.
I don't think it's in poor taste at all.
No.
Now, can we talk food pranks, April Fool's pranks? So this is another one that
Absolutely
got my attention here.
I didn't see
So
this.
this was the Nerds glazed chicken tenders with 31 herbs and spices, with an elevated with a gummy cluster crunch. So
I
this
don't know how I
was.
feel about that. It's sweet and savory at the same time.
I actually think it might be okay.
The
That
sour
sounds-
part would throw me
No.
off.
It might not be terrible, but
It's just sweet and salty together, man. I feel like that's a thing there. So this was Nerds, the company Nerds, coming out and saying, "Hey, we're going to try something different. We're going to
Gummy
throw our
clusters.
candy onto some fried chicken." And apparently, they also advertise a Nerds dipping sauce, which I honestly wish
too much.
I'd like to try because I think that would be amazing.
See, now that would be okay if you had like a standard wing and you could dip this in the sauce, but
Yeah.
with a glaze or whatever this is plus that, I don't know.
Now, is it so crazy for us to go, a Nerds dipping sauce is gross, but we already think about all the dipping sauces we have, like
You're right.
honey glazed and like
Well, in other
sweet
countries
barbecue,
too,
like-
like in
Yeah.
China, stuff that McDonald's even has like crazier stuff than we do here in the U.S.
I mean, we eat fucking blue cheese like dipping sauce for wings, like blue
What's wrong with
cheese.
that? Why is that
There's
weird?
nothing wrong with that. No, it's good, but I'm saying it like to anybody else, like
Hold
we
on.
see this and go, "Oh, that's gross."
We gotta ask Devin and Darren. Is blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese all the way.
Devin?
Definitely ranch. over
Ooh.
here.
Oh, I'm not a
Ooh,
ranch.
split.
I'm not a ranch.
I'm okay with
favorite kind
both,
of
honestly.
profile.
Yeah.
So,
Jason just does one bite of one and one bite of the other. He
Yes.
double bones it.
oh,
We
well,
won't
that's
go-
about right. That's
Anyway, one more just for shits and giggles. So there was weirdly, so I don't know if you guys caught the D brand April Fool's joke, which was their, but
can't give it away.
they weren't the only one to advertise a grass-based April Fool's Day. So this was Yahoo. Yahoo were going to be releasing a keyboard that had grass growing over the keys of the keyboard. Weirdly close to what D-Brand did.
Yeah, close.
You know what this really feels like to me? This was what ChatGPT spit out when a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah?
marketing
Mm.
people last week
Yeah.
typed in, oh gosh, we forgot about April Fool's Day. What's a really funny, techie, meme that we could do something with?
Well,
Yeah.
and these companies have access to the video creation. They're
Yes.
paying the big bucks for it, so they're probably just not doing a whole lot of. And it's for April Fools. Why spend a lot of money
Sure.
on anyway?
Yeah. No, but I mean, this just the fact that there were a handful that I saw that were talking about touching grass, and here's a new product that can help you touch grass. Okay,
Yeah.
like,
And this is a cue where Darren's going to say, "Well, hey, the Tech Disruptors made a video. Here, I'm going to let you watch it, and it's going to be macking me."
No, it's not. No, but I do have
I was waiting
do
for
have
that too.
one more. So 11
Oh.
Labs released Bark GPT.
nice.
So this was their text to Bark service. So I'm just going to show you the little video here.
Here at 11 Labs, we introduced the world's first ultra-realistic text-to-speech model, and then the world's most precise and accurate speech-to-text model. And today, we're taking one small step for man, and one giant leap for man's best friend. Introducing Text to Bark, the world's first AI-powered text-to-speech engine for dogs.
Who's a good boy?
On the back of decades of open
Yeah, I
source
like that.
linguistic research,
Okay,
Oh,
honestly,
sorry. Anyway.
some of this stuff is so well done that they
It
could
really
actually
is,
probably
yeah.
go on Kickstarter and sell this, and then like not make anything but walk away with millions of dollars.
Yep.
So a
Like-
lot of these companies came out and were having a lot of fun at consumers' expense. But again, as with always with a lot of these April Fool's pranks, there's one more here. I'll pull this up in just a second.
Sorry,
As with a lot of these,
I
April-
might want to check it out before you. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, seriously, smacking me. But as with a lot of these April Fool's pranks that these companies are releasing, probably 1 in every 5 you kind of want to come true.
Yes, yeah,
Right? Like some of those were really good ideas, like a Bark to text. That's an amazing
I think
idea.
the
Why
ones
aren't we
you
working
fall
on that?
That's the ones you
Yeah.
fall for. Like when I
Yes.
hate to say this, I was kind of
Yeah.
secretly excited that Tesla got bought out because I'm tired of everyone like hiding my car and stuff. I'm like, hey,
Yes.
now Elon's out, the car's going to keep going, but then I was kind of
Yeah, if he was any other businessman, he would have sold Tesla a long time ago just because that would have been the best thing for shareholders. But
right.
he's unfortunately not every other person. There.
Now,
He's not your
Dan-
average man. What do you mean? It's not worth
No.
trillions of dollars or anything. Come on. He
Why
put his
every-
pants on just like you and me.
Well, I mean, does he though?
There's-
I mean, my wife. Every time my wife sees a picture of him, she like is compelled to say just how hideous looking he is. And
Karen,
it's yeah.
You're the ugliest person in the world.
If you've got
but
money,
But if you have certain things that are sought after, you can have a lot of relationships and or friends.
this is.
And I'm
true.
not talking about body parts. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
getting at here. I'm talking about money.
I see. I think in my wife, every time we have this discussion about someone who's wealthy or has a lot of money, in her mind she goes through the "Would I marry him?
Yes.
Like, could
Oh,
I be with
sure.
him?" kind of like like thought. So I think in her mind that's her way of justifying that it would never happen.
Well,
which is good
and
for
that's
me.
typically stereotypical.
sure.
I mean, most of we think women would do this to a guy to get money. But
Yeah,
have you guys ever thought, man, I can marry this woman for sure?
Yeah. yeah.
And I'm not like, if you're married
Absolutely.
or not. I'm not trying to say you're. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Who would be your sugar mama, Jason?
Oh, I'm not answering that question.
Yeah.
because I don't have
He
one.
told
I'm
he told me
happily
Mama
married.
June. He
I'm
told me
happily
Mama
married.
June. Mama June before we went on air.
Who the hell's Mama June?
Well, do I need to pull up a picture?
No,
No.
please. I'll throw up. I don't know who that is, but
Anyway, so Devin, you found one from Corsair. Do you want to just set it up before I? Pull
Yeah,
up
I was gonna say this was my April Fool's Day joke that I looked at and was like, okay, but why isn't this real? But why can't we actually have this?
do you think his companies test bed this stuff this way too? Maybe.
Maybe I doubt it for the most part, but
Yeah.
So
this
is the. I
this
love
was
the
one of those
retro-
things I saw and I'm like, there's no reason we can't have this. This isn't like the text to bark thing. This is like why
legit.
don't we have this though? Like this would have been the perfect product to literally just make a handful of and sell only on April Fool's Day, right?
I love the voice.
I do love it when companies like to have a bit of a laugh on April Fool's Day, though.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so I saw this and I was like, I would buy this. Like if they actually sold this, like I would buy this whole kit.
Dude, this PC is the bomb.com.
Now, in case you're wondering, they're advertising a full PC, gaming PC kit here.
But what Devin's not telling you is he relates this because him and his bros do bomb.com on there and they talk and
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with saying the bomb.com still.
Hey, Devin, your next live stream where you do 24 hours or whatever, you need to have some reenact that.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Welcome, Sam. How's it going, buddy?
How's it going? Let's go Blues.
All right. Fair enough.
No Blues.
12
12 in
All
a
right.
row. 12 wins in a row, baby. We're winning the whole damn thing.
So we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the show, and I think it's worth talking about now. So one product that got advertised as potentially being released this week, but unfortunately has come to suffer from some unfortunate delays, is the Nintendo Switch 2. So to put it simply, Nintendo advertised a pre-order date.
Yep.
Now, is it my understanding that people could pre-order and then it stopped,
No.
or there was none at all?
From what I understand, Devin, correct me if I'm wrong. They said April. I didn't know April 9th. So I logged into my Nintendo account and I had to register interest, but didn't have a date. Then it came out April 9th. I think you had to be a Nintendo subscriber
Account
to get
holder,
first
yeah.
dibs, I think. I mean, and then it came out, hey, April 9th isn't going to happen because of some weird, strange word, Tarif. Some guy named Tarif.
Yeah,
won't let
I don't know what it
happen.
is either.
So, I
yeah.
don't-
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, so when is the pre-order now? Is there a pre-order date, or do you have to wait till June?
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think they've announced another pre-order date.
So was he? So my understanding, let me just make sure I got this right, because I didn't really follow this much this week. But so the Nintendo did their big launch video, hoorah, whatever. Said that you could
Nintendo
pre-order
Direct.
on this. Yep, pre-order on this date.
No, they
And
did not.
then-
They didn't announce it. Did they? Oh, so I watched.
yeah.
I only watched half of it, and they
Yeah.
weren't talking about when it was going to be. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
And so,
pre-orders
okay, so
will be
they announced.
available
yeah.
April 9th with the console launching on June 5th.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
And then, so what happened? So April 9th, I mean, I'm assuming so people, it's just been canceled now? Is that the
Postponed.
idea? Or pushed or postponed?
They said it was going to be delayed. That's why I think it's so confusing for me. Like,
Well, they already raised it $100 from last year, which is okay.
Yeah.
My biggest concern with this is so I was watching it, and then I watched MKBHD, Mr. Hughes. They kind of play with it, and they all said, "Yeah, it's great." But then I've seen a lot of things saying, "Well, it's not that much. Like it's going to cost more. A lot of the Switch 1 games won't cross over. Do we really need 4K with a Switch?
Yeah.
It's only 1080p. I mean, but the overall thing I got was it's an upgrade from the first one. It feels more adult-like. It's more premium. It's bigger. It's not like a toy. But I don't know, $450? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the thing is Nintendo has the same kind of stranglehold that Apple does. there are people out there that it doesn't matter what the next iPhone costs. If it
True.
costs $3,000, they're going to be buying it because they don't know anything different. They don't have a choice at this point, right? And I think that's kind of what the situation is here, right? If you want to play Mario, if you want to play Zelda, if you want to play Super Smash Brothers, you're going to buy this console. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter anything about the specs of this thing. It doesn't matter how nice the screen is. It doesn't matter whatever. Like, you're buying this console to play those games, not because of the specs inside.
Well, and the
Yeah.
thing is to me, it's already a money grab because they put an LCD in, and you know they're going to have another version coming out in a couple of years with AMOLED.
Yeah.
And I know the LCD is probably much better than last time, but I don't. We have a Switch, and I very rarely play it. It's more of my kids kind of thing, and maybe I'm not the right, population that plays this. To me, I would have, if my daughters wanted to play it, maybe I'd buy it for Christmas or something, but I'm just more concerned about why they're delaying it. That's the real question. Like, what's the tariff got? I mean, it's like, you don't want to eat the cost? Like, if you sell it for $450 and then once it's released, you're getting, it's costing you more. You're going to lose. It's going to cut into your profits. I mean, I don't know.
Here is what I'm wondering, like, just in regards to tech in general. I wonder if they're going to start doing these, like, special pre-order pricing more now, and then you're going to pay the tariff if you don't pre-order. You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't surprise me if they came back and said, okay, also, after corporate did all of their calculations, pre-orders are going to be live on April 15th, but it's going to be for $649 instead of $449 because tariffs.
I also wonder if they'll just fuck the pre-order process and only sell it on June the 5th.
I feel like, I mean, half of the pre-order thing is just to try to, get rid of
to drum up interest. Yeah,
exactly, right. The good thing is I don't think Nintendo is obviously a big enough company. They don't need to worry about like, I wonder how many consoles we're actually going to sell. Let's do pre-orders so we can get some numbers to go off of, right? Like, they probably don't have to worry about that, but it's probably more of a, just drum up interest, get people, committed already, and hopefully, stop scalpers from getting as many as possible by requiring Nintendo.
That happened a lot.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen a lot, right? Like, these people will scoop them up and then resell them for more, and people will pay it because they're desperate to try the latest and greatest thing.
Yep.
Now, just kind of piggybacking off something that Jason said, that one thing that, I don't know if you caught this, but I saw this and went, I like it. So I don't know if you saw this. So Nintendo Switch 2 will apparently play GameCube games with a special edition GameCube controller, which was advertised on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah.
This is with their online service, the same thing that they've been doing with all the other ones, right? Like, you can play, NES, SNES, and 64 games if you pay for the extra, $20 a year or whatever it is for their subscription. So as the consoles get stronger, they're, and as time goes on, they're just releasing more of these things, which I think is awesome. It's always just interesting to me, like, which games they choose, which games they pick to go in this library.
Yes.
But it is really cool just to have those at your, fingertips, be able to play them.
Well, I mean, I think the GameCube is still highly regarded as, a very favorite Nintendo product, right? Alongside the Wii and like all those other ones. But I think having a gaming specific controller for the GameCube games as well, I think is a clever play by Nintendo. And also it's that nostalgia, right? Like, you've got a controller that's the same color as what I think the GameCube was. It was that purple color, right?
They had a bunch. Mine was
a bunch of different colors.
I have this controller. I still have a GameCube. It's over on my shelf over there. I still play it because I play Phantasy Star Online, and the problem was that game was hard coded to the deck. So the problem was if you played it on that unit,
Yeah.
That's what. So I have a Dreamcast with it too, and that drive's about ready to fail. It's like it's old as hell. And so, but yeah, I mean, I had a game. I still think, honestly, if you're asking me, the two best consoles Nintendo ever made were the original NES and the GameCube. By far. The GameCube, although I didn't like the controller, it's kind of goofy, but
they're all.
But yeah, I as far as the Wii U, and even the Switch, I still to me the GameCube reigns supreme in Nintendo as far as hardcore gaming console. I think GameCube could really kind of hold its own as probably, if not the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2, probably the greatest gaming console probably ever made was the GameCube.
Nah, Virtual Boy.
Sure.
That red
Atari Lynx. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. I still kick myself. Years ago, I had bought Walmart clearance the Virtual Boys out. I just probably God's dating me. And I think I paid like $30 for it. And it for $30, hell, I'd give it a shot. Yeah. And I freaking sold that thing. You know, if I would have hung on to
just kept it for nostalgia, just to keep because it's cool tech.
Yeah, that could have been worth some money. Just for nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish they would have either that controller or they would give you a little dongle where you can plug it in somehow. We can actually use the original cabled.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't do that, but there's plenty of third-party adapters you can plug in your GameCube controllers.
Well, let me ask this. So the Switch 2, one of its big selling points, obviously besides whatever NVIDIA, which the processor still kind of like, they don't say a lot about it. The camera. Why do I want a camera? I mean, it's not for Move. Like, you know, the PlayStation Move had a camera and light like the balls on the end of things. The Wii had the sensor bar. The Wii U had a sensor bar. Why do we need a camera? What do we really want to talk to people and see them while we're playing games?
It worked so well for Xbox and the Kinect that they were like, okay, well, we got to, follow it up with something.
Kinect was a bomb, wasn't it?
It wasn't great.
Really, this to me really feels like they were like, okay, we got to make something. We got to make this very different, as different from the Switch as possible.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things.
And Switch is portable, right? But then put a camera into the Switch itself. That way, if you don't have the camera attached,
right?
It's like it's basically a tablet, right? You could have stuck a little 8-megapixel camera at the top of that screen, and I don't know.
Well, you have the Joy-Con turns into a mouse because clearly you need that because that's
okay. That was probably the thing that confused me the most.
Yes.
Why? I
get it. I get the functionality there. The amount that they were like pushing it and showing it off, like they spent a lot of time showing it off.
They did.
I kept like just thinking to myself, like, what? How many people are playing this?
Didn't you hear the
desk?
They're going to remake some of the Switch 1 games and add that mouse feature to it. I'm ecstatic. Look, I'm a PC game player and I love it. Like I want to sit at a desk and I can control my gun if I'm playing first person with my mouse. I can't do it with a controller. So I was kind of intrigued by it. But I'm thinking I got to sit at a desk or something. But they say you can put it on your leg and do it too. But I'm thinking, I don't know how this is going to work. If they want to be, is it a portable device? Is it a home system? What is this? What are they marketing it as? It's like both. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, so Nintendo Switch was a big talk this week, but I for the first time all year, a company released a product this week where I went, they've lost their mind. What are they doing? Why do we need this? And that's the first time this year I've actually had a chance to say that. So you guys are familiar with B&O, right? Audio company.
Kind of expensive.
Bang & Olufsen.
Kind of expensive, yeah. So I'm just going to kind of pull this up, and then I'm going to explain to you what this is. So Bang & Olufsen have released their BO Sound, balanced speaker. But that's not what they're selling.
Oh, I saw these. Oh.
They're selling these marble plinths or columns that your speaker sits on.
I bought 6 of them.
Now,
they're 10,000.
The company, I got to make sure I got this right. This is in partnership with an Italian marble and granite company, Antolini, at the Milan Design Week, because why not? And the balanced natural speaker features a sculptural base from the company, straight marble, that elevates the device to optimal height. I'm not even making that shit up. That was in the press release.
Well, you need that.
Now, like you can see in the image here.
Hold on.
It is.
What else do they do?
That's it.
So they reworded it to sound like it's a. How much do they cost?
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask you to guess before. We do
I said
that.
10,000 for a pair.
No.
So 2 marble columns
I'm just kidding.
to elevate your speakers to apparently what they call optimal height. Sam, I'm going to take a guess here.
7
Marble's
grand.
not crazy expensive.
Yeah, I'd say about $5,000. About $5,000.
Yeah,
Just because
most
it's Italian.
things
Because
B&O
it's
make-
Italian and it's handmade.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But B&O doesn't make anything that's expensive. Like that little thing I showed you is a little portable Bluetooth speaker, and it was like
Yeah.
$400, and it was probably worth about 20. You know, I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
$5,000.
Devin?
I'd say 2 or for
Five?
5. Yeah.
For,
you said $5
two
grand
of them or just
two.
for one of them?
for
You
two.
get both of them,
Okay.
I believe.
Two.
I said
for
2 for
pair.
10 grand.
Yeah,
Two for
I'd
five.
go like $7,900.
Ooh,
79.
is this like
Well,
who's closest without going
well,
over?
no,
I'd take $1.
Nick,
Yeah.
$3,300.
Oh, we were all way off.
Well, here's the thing. If you buy those, somebody from Italy is going to come to death and beat you to death with one of those. goddamn collars.
Hold on, is that for 1 or 2?
That's for 2.
That's for both. That's for 2.
a
Yeah.
pair. So you're about in for about 17-ish hundred or
Yeah.
so. 17. Yeah.
So how about, and you got to factor in the cost of the speaker too.
Yeah,
Well,
speakers.
here's the
are
thing.
a step
I mean,
or
what's
so
the
different.
dimensions? Because this picture, it looks like lipstick. Like I have no
Yeah,
idea
let
what their
me-
actual size is. Like,
Yeah.
Let
what,
me do a little bit of
Well, it's
so-
optimal height. That's how.
yeah,
they-
crotch. I guess apparently is that
Yeah.
the crotch? Is that where the sound's supposed to go right into your? Yeah, I don't know. Waist height, 4 feet. I don't know.
Well, look,
I'm
I'm,
gonna look
not,
this
I'm
up
not an
here.
audiophile by any means, but I was really big into audio for a long time. And it's all about, especially with surround sound, having it just where it's supposed to be so you can have the optimal hearing experience. Now, most of the time when I used speaker stands, they were kind of hidden. So I'm not sure like where I'd put these at, you wouldn't even see the marble. It'd be pointless. So I guess if you're one of those people that likes to show off,
No, you would show this off.
Oh,
these
yeah,
would be
these
like
are for
something you,
showing
yeah,
off.
definitely you want to flex and go, hey, that's Italian marble right there.
Well, and the good thing is,
Custom
marble, since it is so,
dense.
just usable. Like it's actually optimal for everybody. Optimal height. So no matter how tall you are,
Yeah.
True.
my
yeah.
my kids, they're
very
less
malleable.
than 4 feet tall. It's optimal for them. It's
Hmm.
optimal for everybody that
I
uses
actually
Interesting.
can't find the height. Like as much as I do the research on it here, it doesn't say much about the height. Just keep saying.
But
optimal.
hold on. If you read under the title, it says prices are available upon request. So I'm wondering if you can request different sizes and the price
Yeah.
goes up and down.
Possibly.
But if it's
Possibly.
different sizes,
Yeah, then it's not.
we're talking about
optimal.
girth. We're talking about
it'd be
girth,
op-
not length, right?
Not girth.
So,
no,
yeah.
no.
because it can't be different height because it's
Girth.
optimal for the height of the speaker.
So
you gotta
Sam,
if
what
you-
would be your optimal girth?
Well, you want enough girth so that way it's solid, right? It does the job, right? But it's not uncomfortable, right? That's what you're talking about, right? You want to place it in a room where it, and remember, it's marble, so it's easy to clean, right? Nothing
Do you
gets
work
stuck
for
to it.
B&O?
No, I don't work
He's
for
not the
anybody.
marketing.
apparently, I work for these guys. But I'm just saying, it's like clearly, if it's optimal height for the sound
Yeah.
experience, you can't really change that. So maybe the colors are different. I don't know.
Can I
Maybe they-
suggest going on Amazon, paying $30 for a pair of metal adjustable ones that you can make optimal to
You
your...
can't now because I put the tariff on. It's going to
That's
be
true.
$80. Right?
Yeah, okay, so
Get
now it's $80.
your Chinese marble, fake news, right?
That's yeah. It's going to be American-made marble now. American.
Right. It's going to be from Jersey. Right.
They're
Yeah,
gonna-
from
It's gonna look
Jersey.
like- it's going to look like a smokestack.
Can you
That's what
imagine
it's
B&O saying this is the finest marble from New Jersey?
gonna- Right.
Yeah.
I think it's
grand.
from Staten Island. I don't know.
And it's a mob guy gets on. He's like, "Yeah, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse." Like,
I
come
think
down,
you're
get a
going to buy it
master
for
player there.
$3,300, or I'm going to use this marble to beat your legs to death. Forget about it.
Comes with a free
So I know,
mattress.
$3,300. I don't know. I think that's expensive, but if you're about that guy,
I
and
mean,
you're going to put your flex on, and you got a really nice pad.
Well, Sam, I don't know if
maybe
you know.
$300 marble speaker stands or your jam.
I can't
don't
speak for
know.
One Cut Reviews, but here at Tech Disruptors, we literally like Scrooge McDuck. We like swim in our money.
like, I'm going to be honest with you.
Clearly,
My speakers in my my home entertainment system here, they're on a milk crate. So like that gives you an idea about
Right.
But where was the milk crate produced?
and it's actually just a carton, and it says, "Have you seen me?" And it's actually
That's
a
right,
picture of Darren.
true, yeah.
Who knew, right?
Where was your
Yeah.
milk crate produced? Was it in Italy?
Oh, I don't know. It says on the side. I didn't really pay attention. I just stole
We
it out of
didn't
the back
take
of a
one.
milk truck. Now, just changing our focus here. I don't know if you guys have heard a little bit of chatter about this book by a Meta whistleblower. somebody that worked for Meta has written a book called Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams.
Wow.
Now, she's expected to testify next week in a Senate hearing. And apparently, from what I understand, from people some friends of mine who have this book, she's about to blow the lid on some really big things that were happening at Meta/Facebook that might put the company into some interesting light. So the novel
How
here.
many times has Meta reached out to this girl saying, "Please sign this NDA so we can sue you if you say anything"?
Yes. Yeah. So essentially, people are talking a lot about what potentially is going to come out. But to give you a little summary, basically, hang on 1 second.
Just use Gemini AI to summarize it for you.
No, I didn't. I had it here. So it said somewhere here, she was saying that their connections with attempts to operate in China. So apparently there is some connection that Meta, she's established, I guess, through being in the company with Meta having ties to China, which, as you can probably imagine, in the United States is probably not going to look all that great right now with who's in power and what's happening. But so I'm curious to see. I mean, this is happening this week. I'm curious to see what comes out, because I mean, I'm sure the book has a little bit of it, but usually when you're under oath, that's when some questionable, the real truth comes out. So what do you guys feel about this? Do you think we should be hearing more about these companies and maybe some of the shady practices that they're
I think every company has something that's like this. It's just a matter of someone's willing to take the steps. And I'm not saying this person's lying or trying to get someone mad. Maybe this person was wronged enough that they wanted to step forward. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. But there's going to be some consequences on both sides, obviously. I don't know. I think every company's got skeletons in their closet. No one's perfect.
Oh, of course. Senator Josh Hawley figures it would be him.
What?
He's our senator. He's senator.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm fully aware of Josh Hawley being in Missouri. And he's, well, here's the thing. If you really want to see how far this gets down with these companies and Axios and LexisNexis and all these other, you need to read a book called Means of Control.
Yeah.
If you read that, it talks about the American surveillance state and how basically after 9/11 they did this and they leveraged, advanced modeling. And trust me, this is not even scratching the surface on what these companies, and this is not just Facebook. I mean, social media kind of got into it. We're talking about Instagram, Facebook, Meta, and all that kind of stuff. But really, we're talking about how basically the U.S. government buys publicly accessed data for consumers, and they basically, the TIA program, dude, trust me, if you dig on this enough, you're going to find that. Well, and there's a lot to it, and it makes sense. Like I said, I mean, you can kind of go back and forth conspiracy theories. I guess my question is, when I hear about these whistleblowers, I really want to know their motivation. Like, what's Sarah's motivation? Like, is it really just because you just want to do right by the American public, and somebody needs to know what this is about? And maybe that's the case.
You got fired. He's mad.
You've got
maybe
possibly, but I don't. But I mean, if you got fired, but I mean, here's the thing: I've never been fired per se, but I mean, if you're fired from Meta and then you're going to do this, you can kind of complain about your boss and complain about a company, but this is kind of a book that you're writing that's going to put you on Capitol Hill. And if Sarah Wynne Williams didn't think that was going to how this gets down, then Sarah Wynne Williams is a moron, because you know exactly what you're doing. Like, this is not. She wrote this book and somebody published this book, and there's no way that they're like, hey, it's not a big deal. Nobody's gonna give a shit about this, right? She knew exactly what she's doing, and she's covered on a whistleblower because there's laws in the United States about whistleblowing. So she's protected from all that kind of stuff. But if you really want to get down on all that kind of stuff, and it's not even conspiracy theory, it just makes sense how in the last 20 years, the United States government really has leveraged consumer data and public accessible data and modeling to try to do not only threat assessments, but also for this kind of stuff. I'm sure she's probably 100% right. She's probably not telling you everything, because probably if she tells you everything, somebody's going to canoe her forehead with a bullet.
I just think
eventually,
or someone doing something like this, they've got, like you said, they got to know what they're getting into, because this is going to put a mark on you for a while. Like, if you want to be in this tech sector ever again, you're probably not going to be able to, at least not for a while.
This is a sign off book. You're not coming back.
Well,
yeah.
I can tell you that this is going to be, if she's testifying Capitol Hill in front of a Senate hearing, she's going to be in a witness protection.
Yeah, you know, the Senate questions are going to be, they're going to be like, oh, so how do you log into Wi-Fi? Yeah, the questions they ask are so stupid.
Well,
it's like, what do you mean you were on Facebook? How'd you log in? By using your password.
Right. Like I said, but this is something that's going to, this is huge. I mean, like I said, if this book was just written, maybe nobody hears about it, but as soon as it goes on C-SPAN and it's knowledgeable and it's on this, whatever publication it's on, this book, this will get,
it's going to get some attention. So I just posted a little quote in the chat here, just saying that apparently it exposes Facebook's leadership and how they were allegedly complicit in enabling the company's monopolistic profiteering and harmful practices under the guise of doing something good for the world.
Sounds like every business.
Yeah, I think from the impression I get, just to answer what Sam was saying about why do this, I think maybe something didn't kind of sit well with her.
Right.
Like maybe they asked her to do something or, agree to something that maybe was kind of against her better judgment.
Like the straw the camel's back kind of thing. Like,
okay, I think this was, I mean, I don't know. Zuckerberg probably asked her to cut his hair or something. Fucking who knows? But, like.
Well, I mean, my thing would be, well, you have a new administration. And now you have the tech bros, right, who are extraordinarily willing to be friendly with the current administration. Let's just put it that way. They've changed their tune. And I don't think that that's accidental. I think that this book comes. I guarantee this. I find out she didn't get fired last week or last month. This is probably and like I said, you see Zuckerberg, who's now friendly with the Trump administration. Maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? Like, you never really know, because people aren't going to sit there and go, yeah, I waited till Trump got in office and then I want to basically burn Zuckerberg and the Trump administration because I'm that guy. Like, I clearly don't think it's going to be that obvious. But the timing is interesting because, like I said, we're not even 3 months into a Trump administration with Zuckerberg being extraordinarily in Trump's good graces and a DOJ that may be willing to go and weaponize this stuff. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm curious to see. I might read it actually because I'm curious to see what this is about.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. I got glimpses of it, but I didn't really know much about it until now. Like, obviously, you opened up a little more. I'd be interested in reading it too.
I'm curious what you have to say.
While that's probably one of the more interesting stories this week, can I bring up something funny? Because I know it's been a while since we've seen someone try something, or maybe ever. So I know, Jason, you work in law enforcement, so you might appreciate this next one. So
I saw this.
A guy.
I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah. A guy in court decided that, and okay, I'm going to read. So his justification for using an AI avatar to argue his case was actually pretty smart. So basically, the basic setup is New York court. Guy is going there. He's in front of judges. He basically tells the judges, we've got a video here. Him recording a video recording. This AR avatar gets up on screen. The judges start asking questions, given the nature of what he looks like and the way he's speaking. And they basically ask the defendant, "Hey, like, why? What is this?" And he's like, "Look, I couldn't afford a lawyer," is what he basically said. And he said that when he was worried, his exact words were, he was worried that when he came to speak to defend himself in court, that he would fumble over his words and what he would say would not come out clear. Now, I actually thought that was a pretty fair, answer to that question as to
standing in front of a judge or multiple judges is definitely nerve-wracking, especially if you don't do it very often, for sure.
Yeah. So basically, he said his justification was, I wanted to coherently defend my actions, and I'm worried that I won't be able to do it myself. So I used an AR avatar to do this. Now, the problem was the judges kind of didn't really know what they were looking at. They thought it was his lawyer at first.
That's
Because
funny.
I mean, it's a well-dressed man in a sweater vest and
Who couldn't make it to the courtroom apparently.
yeah, couldn't make it to court, whatever. You know what? Like, sure, like it's something. But then when they realized that it was AI, the judges were visibly upset. So they basically, claimed that this guy was trying to fool them. But again, his justification was, hey, I kind of wanted to do this so that I don't come across looking stupid, which I think is everybody's fear when you're in a very public environment like that. So, Devin, what are your thoughts on this crazy, like, defending case?
I mean, I would be really interested to see watch the video of this, because how is this not something that's cleared ahead of time?
Yeah, so apparently he just said the court was told that he'd brought a recording, that the appellant had submitted a video for his argument. So basically, I guess like a way of defending himself. They thought it was a video of the defendant arguing like his bit, not an AI generated person defending his bit.
Yeah, bullshit.
That's what this is what the article says anyway.
Well,
right?
and that's fine. First of all, I'm curious if this is a criminal trial because there's a panel of judges, and it's not usually how criminal cases work. Second of all, if you're going to present an AI bot because you want to have your thoughts cogently described like that, that needs to be declared to the court beforehand. You don't just say, "I've got a video recording," and then pop this.
No,
on
I think it was declared. Yeah, I think it was declared.
He said it was a video recording. That's not a video recording. He knew it was not a video recording. He knew.
Right.
Yeah.
His answer is, I needed AI so that way it can express what I'm trying to do coherently. That's not what he presented to the court.
No.
He said, this is a video recording, and when you tell a court it's a video recording of you or assume it's you, they're going to think it's a recording of you. So to me, this guy knowingly knew he was going to use an AI bot. That wasn't on the fly, and it wasn't just a coherently, because AI bots have methodology that knows they can be fed New York judicial precedents and trial law.
Exactly.
It knows algorithms like, okay, what kind of questions are going to ask? Sorry, I'm not buying. I think that guy's full of crap.
Well, the good news about this is that, in law, most times there's rulings and there's court cases that change things in the law, and then they're referenced by judges in future hearings. So bringing AI into a courtroom for the first time, or in this situation, might start people talking like, hey, we got to start addressing AI in our courtrooms and our court systems. That's the only benefit I could see from this. I mean, the guy was trying to be smart.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you, Darren. I think that's fine to leverage this, but I think he's clearly being deceptive here.
Oh yeah,
and if he would have ran it by any first year law student, they would have said, dude, you cannot enter this in.
Right.
Because this is the first time there is no precedent, and that's what Jason's talking about. There's no legal precedent for an AI advocating for a client that's defending themselves without an officially declared lawyer, because you can in any case, right? You can defend yourself. The problem is you're not a lawyer, so the problem is you don't know the procedure, and that's why usually it's not a good idea to go into a courtroom when you're going to go to prison for 55 years to advocate for yourself, because you don't have enough money for a lawyer. Well, you had enough money for an AI bot, and I don't know what you're trying to pull off here, but you basically told the court it's going to be a video, and you try to pull a fast one in the court. And here's the thing, and Jason knows this. If you've had enough judges in your courtroom, if you try to pull anything slick, that judge is going to hammer you into the universe. You are going to get smoked.
I've been hammered multiple times.
And so, like I said, I'm not sure how this New York, I'm curious. This is a panel of judges, so it might be a hearing. It might be an administrative hearing. It doesn't look like a criminal case, because usually it's a jury. It's not even arrayment, because he's not asking, is arraignment basically you're guilty, not guilty, and then remand it for trial. This is not an arraignment. I don't know what this is. I'm curious if this is criminal, or do they specify? Did you read the article?
They didn't specify. I'm going to.
New York's weird anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Devin breaks the law all the time. Devin, you know, right?
Funny story. I actually used to work for a courthouse, county.
What'd you say?
He used to work for a courthouse.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There you
That's
go.
interesting.
That was a long time ago, though.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with this guy, but
community service. No, I'm just kidding.
You needed to be upfront about the court that you were. If he would have said that presented to the court and say, "Hey, look, I'm representing myself. I'm using AI because it helps me collect my thoughts and present them in a way," and declare that to the court ahead of time, then they could have had a hearing to discuss whether or not it's admissible as a testify. Right. I think he kind of is trying to goose the system a little bit. And he's
He
like, well, I'm
was,
just gonna
yeah.
sneak it in, and maybe they won't notice
what
because there's a
happens.
bunch of old people who don't know what the internet is,
Well,
and maybe they won't know.
And if it
And they
worked,
clearly figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah, and if he
they-
worked and he got
worked.
away with it, like you set a precedent then, right? Like,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey, man, E for effort, dude. I'm in.
if
It's
he's
all
in
good.
prison now, at least he'll get some good ramen lasagna. You know, I mean,
That's exactly right. Now, speaking of
never heard of it.
the law and courts, do any of you guys have a dash cam in your car, Devin?
I thought about getting one.
Yes,
Samson?
Yeah.
I have had a dash cam, but the Tesla has one built in.
Right.
obviously. So yes, I've
So-
used them.
I know it's too fancy. I know. I just installed like a manual one.
Look
in
at me.
mine.
I'll be
I have-
honest. On YouTube,
I spend millions of dollars and I have dash cams in my car.
no, I mean,
Yeah, it's
there's
nice.
like, it's funny. My kids actually watch this channel called Wham Bam Dash Cam, and it's about these people like and they have like Ohio and every state like that top, and it's people like catching accidents and police
Yeah.
get. It's kind of interesting. I've caught some things on mine before too. The one I purchased one for my Honda when I had my Honda, and it's good for insurance reasons. So if you get in an accident, you can prove who's at fault much easier.
And that's exactly what I wanted you to say. Good segue, Jason. That's why.
You're
That's why he's cursed. Now, it's very rare.
But Darren,
that-
hold on.
Yeah.
I want to let you guys know ahead of time. I've been writing a memoir about tech disruptors, and it's going to blow the
It's
doors
true.
open. Okay.
It is. It's gonna.
Memoir, you've had, like,
it's gonna
50
highlight the inner workings.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 50 shows. All right.
Yeah, the inner workings of.
How can you be nostalgic about something that has 2 months ago?
Aaron's
Okay.
profiteering and doing all kinds of crap.
Well, I'm
Selling my
good for it.
semen and my blood, not mixed together. Okay,
And apparently marble.
Yes.
Marble as
Yeah.
well.
He's trying to make me buy this marble speaker holder.
Anyway.
But anyway, so it's very rare that we hear a company that we like, Google, make something kind of cool. So Google came out this week and said, we want to turn your built-in camera sensors in your car into dash cams. So they want to leverage the technology that's already built into a lot of cars today. So I don't know, EVs especially, there's tons of fucking cameras. They're everywhere.
Right.
So imagine being able to take that data and use it as the same purpose of a dash cam, which is to record, I guess, incidents on the road, and put that in one app, right? So like kind of bring all this data into one app so that if you did get into, unfortunately, an accident or someone hit your car or something like that, you have all the data you already need. You don't need to install a manual dash cam on the windshield or anything like that. So from what I understand, the app has been built. It does exist, but you just can't download it yet. I'm sure there's going to be someone out there who finds a way.
Well, you got to have access from the manufacturer.
Well, that's
first off.
the
Right.
first issue, right? So I don't know how exactly. I don't know if it requires manufacturers to get on board,
I'm sure it does.
but I think it's not really that big of a deal if they did. Like, it wouldn't be that hard for an auto manufacturer to say, you know
The only
what?
problem is how many people, like, I know a lot of cars now have rear view cameras
Yes.
for backing up, but that's not really, yes, you can do rear dash cams, but a lot of cars still, I mean, you, like the minivan that I know Devin's got one, so do I, it doesn't have a camera in the front.
Yeah.
Some of them do if you get to higher trim levels.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Mine does. I have my Mustang, but it has a front camera for stuff like lane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lane
whatever, and I
departure
turn that
stuff.
crap
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
yeah.
But the problem is the console doesn't. I don't have Android Auto or anything. So I mean, I have it's got the camera part, but it doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. And and this is nice, but I mean,
You don't have
obviously
Android
Google's
Auto?
just doing this. No.
Okay.
It's got Sync. It's for Microsoft Sync crap, and it's not very good. And I have a base model, so it doesn't have any of the. It's a 2001, but it doesn't have the screen. I didn't get the nav.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, because I just use my phone and that kind of thing. So I would have to get obviously an external camera or whatever. But obviously Google's just doing this for public safety. They're just like data scraping all the
Yeah.
shit they're going to be connected to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay,
But that's
sure.
true, though.
I mean, they're doing that for love of the game. It's clearly because they get telemetry and data modeling. I mean, it's what they get out of it, and that's fine. But
right.
and
Helps
here's
Google
the
Maps.
thing: if they got Android Auto in the car, they can bypass the camera because they can say, "Hey, the manufacturers are already allowing us to have Android Auto."
Yeah.
installed
That's
in
what I'm
these
saying.
vehicles."
Yeah.
I don't think they have to get the physical hardware online as long as that car has been a Ford is approved for Android
Oh,
Auto
that's
and Apple
true.
CarPlay. They can just leverage right through that and say, "Hey, it's part of the terms of service that if you use Android CarPlay in your Toyota, your
You
Honda,
can do this if you want.
that the cameras, it's an opt-in. They'll say you can opt into it and you can bypass the auto manufacturer because
See,
they've already
that-
green-lighted Android Auto."
But Darren,
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
interesting is
That's how I would
Sam's-
do it.
And Sam's right. I mean, there's I guess most do a front camera for lane assist.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a sensor there for like the adaptive cruise, but
Yeah.
I don't know how good those cameras are. I mean, doesn't matter, but I guess any camera is better than no camera.
Well, that's
And
exactly right. Yeah.
It'd be nice to have that. That way, you know, when there is an accident involved and you're involved with it, you know, the cops come, you exchange.
Yeah.
The first thing you say is, "Look, I got Android Auto," and it'd be a more streamlined situation to get that video off and sent to the, you know, with
So-
Tesla, you have an app, you can download it and give it to them. But the same thing with Android Auto would be really nice too. For a
Well,
lot of
so my car has
Basically
one of
a black
those.
box for your car.
Well, that's exactly what. Yeah, so mine has one of those like 360 cameras, so it kind of looks like it's looking down on the car. You can see around the outside.
right.
I think that would be fascinating for like in an incident where someone hit you, and they're claiming that they didn't. Right. So if they had access to that 360 top down view camera, you'd be able to see if a car clipped you or hit you or bumped you or hit your door into your car. So there's lots of applications for this. I think it's a great idea. The fact that, and I think Sam might be on the money there. I think because they already have the Android Auto connection, it's like I think it's just the car manufacturers going, okay, checking off, like checking a box.
It's less money they have to spend. Right.
They don't have to do anything. Yeah. And then that's a feature they can advertise with
Unless
their
you
car.
drive a Chevy. I don't think Chevy takes Apple or Android Auto.
No,
Tesla
they're,
doesn't support Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So there's a couple
Yeah.
manufacturers that don't support it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Chevy offers something similar. Like, you know, Tesla has their own app. They have all their cameras, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think Android Auto, I think Sam's correct. I mean, perfect situation for everyone who supports it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, easy integration, right? So listen, it's not very often that we say Google may have actually made something good. I mean, it's going to be killed within a month and it'll end up in the graveyard. But I mean, it's a cool idea. At least we have it now. But you just can't download it. So I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe they're
someone's going
waiting.
to figure out a way. You
Oh,
know, for
absolutely.
sideloading
And I'll be the
everything.
first to try it because I'm really interested that something like that exists. I think that's a really, really cool idea. Well, listen, guys, that actually brings us to the end of tonight's show. I know it's been a random roller coaster ride through this week's tech. But, you know, we are all going to go make our own AI avatar lawyers right now in case we ever do get in trouble. I mean, being on the Tech Disruptors, you probably should have an AI lawyer at the very least. But you know, if you don't, it's okay. But thank you very much, Sam, Devin, Jason. We love having you on the show. And for everybody that's listening after the fact, thanks. Like, subscribe, check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere else you find amazing podcasts about tech. And if you haven't told your friends about us, what the hell? Like, get on top of that, people. Tell your friends.
We've
tell
even
your
mentioned
family.
it too because we're trying to get you guys. We're trying to help you out. I mean,
That's right. So
I mean, all like 40 people already probably watch, but it's cool. Whatever.
It's like, I
Maybe
know.
we can get the
But-
odd, we can get the odd human. That's fine.
You know what? The Nomad Tech Project, the Tech Disruptors, they're the two greatest podcasts that
Hey,
are out there right now.
Get your
What are you
AI,
waiting for?
your AI attorneys to watch us too. We're okay.
Right.
with that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
be
okay
honest
with
with
that.
you. I'll be okay with that too.
They can
As
sell
long as it's a
it.
well-dressed man in a sweater vest. That's
you
what
go.
we'd be looking for.
Yeah.
Well, listen, on that note, we will be back next Sunday, 4 p.m. We have a special guest on next week. His name is Dean. That's all I remember. But we'll go around. We'll sure it'll be in the thumbnail. But on that note, we will catch everybody on the next one and have a good evening. Peace.